What's up, everybody?
What's up, everyone? This is another episode of Unturned Pages. It is Sunday, and Jenny is investigating at OSR, Ohio State Reformatory, I believe, right now tonight. So I brought on Derek into tonight as a co-host.
Hello, everybody. Hope you all are doing good.
We are going to be having on tonight Dimensional Encounters Paranormal. And we have Rob B3 that is going to be joining us. If you guys have any questions tonight, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. And please share this out. And here we go.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Top of the morning to you.
Right. How you guys been?
Busy,
I think
but
we're all,
good.
we've all got color to us.
A lot.
I got burnt to a crisp today.
Yeah. I put an advertisement out if anybody wanted to join a painting party, and nobody said yes, so we just went out there
Right?
ourselves.
I would have helped me if I was close.
Yeah.
Painting's fun.
I have
Nobody
freckles.
ever.
I don't really have color. Well, I mean, I kind of do, but more so freckles.
Yeah.
So
You
how
got
have you
burnt
been,
today.
Rob?
Things are just moving so fast. We do one thing. We've not had any breaks since we investigated the last time. So we went to, where was that? Edinburgh Manor? Edinburgh?
Yeah. Edinburgh. Yep, that's where we were.
And then you and Paranormal Exposures, you guys had a investigation after that.
Yeah,
Down
we
in
went
your
to the
neck of the woods.
Argo Hotel.
Was that pretty good?
Yeah. I got called out there. It was pretty funny.
Yeah. It's like you're always getting called out everywhere.
You know what? It's weird because we were downstairs, and the equipment was just going crazy, right? And we're like, I'm out. Stop with the equipment for a minute, right? And have you guys been to the Argo yet?
No.
Not yet.
I want to know some of the like what goes on there and like what you know about the Argo.
I mean, I could tell you a bunch of stuff, but I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
But my wife Judy was sitting by a door, and the question came up: do you want somebody to go through the door? And all the equipment started blowing up again. We're like, okay, we get it. Calm down. Do you know who you want to go through the door? It starts blowing up again, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. So me being me, I was going, so you want Miss Judy to go through the door, right? I mean, she's sitting right by it. Dead silence. And I was like, oh shit, what's up with this? And then someone asked the question, so who do you want to go through the box or go through the door? The spirit box came through, you know, that speaker thing that we've got? It went through
Yeah.
that, it was like, Rob. And I was like, oh shit. I said, am I supposed to go by myself? Yes. Who do you want to go through? Rob. And I was like, oh dear God. And so I went back there. You know, it was kind of cool. I got a flashlight. And I'm kind of shaking and stuff. I was kind of scared down there. You know, and I was like, what the heck? You know, and I went back there and I sat for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. It felt like eternity. And I'm like, okay, I'm down here. What do you want me to do? The oak comes through the spirit box. I'm like, what are you talking about? The oak. Find the oak. So I'm looking around, and this place is, you know, it's kind of like Edinburgh. You know, it's old, maybe 300. I'm looking around, and there's framing of the house and everything in there. And I'm going, well, that could be just about anything in here because, I mean, I don't know what type of wood they were using for the framing and stuff, but yeah, I sat there for about 10 minutes, kind of walked through that, and then I kind of went off into this little area in the back, and I found a hole in the ground, and that looked kind of weird, and I kind of yelled it out. Then the owner came out, and she ran in there, and then she's like all digging down in the hole, and she's like, "Can I use your phone light?" I'm like, well, "No, I don't know, not my phone down there. No, she can have the flashlight, type thing." But we were there for about 15, 20 minutes or so, and after that we kind of bailed out. But yeah, I mean, the Argo Hotel is an amazing location.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's the previous owners, they owned it for like 5 years, and they did a lot of they brought it back to that historical,
Right.
Yeah, so if you've seen the pictures, if you go onto Facebook, I have Dimensional Encounters Paranormal, the team that I'm a part of. I have an advertisement on there. It's got some music and stuff in there, and it also shows a lot of pictures from the inside. Hey, Tom.
What up, Tommy? I might switch over to Alicia's camera and share her screen with her. So that way I don't look so relaxed in my... I'm just chilling in my bed. Been a long day. I'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to go and share a screen with Alicia.
Cool.
So it was an O that you were supposed to look for, it said?
Oak. Like the type of wood, oak wood, O-A-K.
Oh, oak.
Right, and so
Okay.
I'm looking around going, okay, what am I supposed to be looking for? That's oak. And I'm looking around, I kind of look up, and there's framing everywhere, skeletal structure of a house, I couldn't find any oak, but we're down there about 25 minutes or so, including the time that I sat by myself. And then we kind of broke off and went and did some other things there. Some investigations.
So, since we are having you on and we are talking about your team, Dimensional Encounters Paranormal, can you kind of tell us, like, who created the group, your first investigations, and all that fun stuff?
So Bobby Thomas is the guy that kind of put the team together. He had another guy, real close friend of his. They kind of went out and he came up with the name. I think they were together for about three years, maybe 4, something like that. And then we actually met at a different investigation. I was with my old team, and we were at a undisclosed location. So we went out there, and I had some equipment, or he had some equipment that was down at the end of the hallway. And he decided that he needed to go check it, make sure that it was still going. And it was one of those, the Tesla speakers. Have you seen those? So they had a Tesla speaker on there.
I've seen the Tesla coil, but I don't think I've seen the Tesla speaker.
Is it the little box that has the thing and it zaps and
it's got a big coil on it, and then it's got the wire that hangs out and it kind of spins around in a circle. It's supposed to increase.
No.
What's that?
Go ahead. Sorry.
So the one that I think that you're talking about, it has a little antenna on the top, and then it puts sparks out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one.
Okay, so the one that I'm
thought.
talking about, it's the coil. It's kind of like the predecessor to that one.
Okay.
And so, just meeting Bobby and everything, and he said that he needed to go check that equipment. I said, all right, I'll walk out there with you. And we started walking down the end, getting down towards the end of the, about 3/4 of the way there. There's a doorway, and we stepped through there, and we got blasted with something. Like every hair on my body just kind of stood up, and I was like, oh, and I kind of looked at him. He goes, look at your arm. I'm like, bro, I don't need to look at it. I know what it's doing. He goes, this feels like crazy in here. And I'm like, yeah, good description of it. And then we went through another doorway, and there's a set of stairs right there. And I had my meter right. And as soon as we walked in, the meter was just blasting. I mean, it was like up on purple, right? And with you guys know how I am on investigations. I usually knock, introduce myself, this and that, whatnot. So we got to that door. I knocked. Hi, my name's Rob. We're just coming in to check this piece of equipment and make sure that everything's good to go. I would appreciate if you kind of like turn this off, just kind of back up just a little bit, and it dropped off, and I was like, that was pretty cool. And so I took a step and went down, and I stepped down one step, bam, and the meter started going off again. I was like, holy smokes, this is cool. And Bobby's like, that's cool. So basically, we went through and we went down to the third step, and I said, all right, we're just going to check this, make sure everything's good to go. I mean, we could see that it was still running, but some of us wanted to just kind of test the waters a little bit. We got in there, we're like, okay. And I jumped down one step, and my meter just snapped. I mean, just bang, it was pegged out, screaming.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I'm sorry. And we ended up leaving, and Bobby we got back about 3/4 of the way back to the room. And I kind of looked at him. He goes, that was freaking cool. I was like, yeah, it kind of scared me. I'm not going to lie. He goes, scared you? And I'm like, well, yeah, this scared me a little bit. But this was like right as I was beginning to do, some of this stuff.
Okay.
So that's how we met.
Yeah, that's got to be a lot of energy. Do you think it had to do with that Tesla device?
It could have. There's some other things that have happened there, that we were part of. We've been to this location probably about 4 or 5 times. This was the initial one. But after sitting back and thinking about, how many times we've been there and everything else, I think Spirit was just not wanting us in there.
Yeah.
So crazy place though.
So Judy was with you on the last team as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then when did John go ahead?
Go ahead. I sorry, I kind of jumped in.
You're okay. And Jessie, how long has she been with the team then?
I want to say almost 4 years. So we're kind of like in our first season. Judy and Jessie kind of started in at the same time. Bobby and I were kind of, we met at that one place, and then we drove to Cedar Rapids, and then we went to a couple places and stuff like that. And I was really interested in a lot of the equipment that he builds and stuff like that, different things. And he comes back, and he basically he said, if you ever decide to change teams, you always have a home here. I was like, yes. Ryan Schroeder. Hey, Rob, what's your guys' socials? We are on Facebook and YouTube. It's Dimensional Encounters Paranormal. On the YouTube, we have 26 videos, I think. If you look at them, start from the bottom, go to the top. Oldest on the bottom, newest on the top. I will tell you, though, we haven't really posted anything in about 1.5 years, 2 years. Might be a little bit longer than that. But there's also some backstories to some of the videos in there.
Yeah, Ryan is from CNR Paranormal. He's from our area as well. He actually was at the Rock Island Roadhouse last year too. So I'm surprised you guys didn't meet.
I can't really see the picture very well, but we may have.
Yeah, they probably did cross paths.
Right.
Yeah, we were down. We got invited to quarters 1, and he was down there as well. We got invited by Cheryl out of Illinois Paranormal Research Group, and it was cool to kind of link up with a few groups and do
Right.
an investigation down at the Rock Island Arsenal. It was pretty cool, man. And then he also came out to an undisclosed location the last, I think it was 2 investigations ago, and he got the hell scared out of him. We were all standing there in the basement, and he's in this like standing like right by the doorway, and it goes even further into a basement, just dark and stuff. And we're asking questions, you know how that goes, and everything. And it's quiet for a minute. All of a sudden, you hear this like compressor, like an AC compressor, just kick on super loud.
Yeah.
And I mean, it scares the shit. I mean, he jumped like about freaking 5 feet back.
No, he thought he saw a person.
Oh, he thought he saw. Okay, so he thought
a room down there.
Yeah, so he thought
entered.
he was seeing like a spirit or maybe a person, and yeah, he was seeing stuff, and that's what kind of got him. And then the finale was the sound, and it was hilarious. I mean, we just busted up cracking, dude. It was awesome.
That's not the first time we've seen him jump now. You got to see Ryan jump sometime, Rob.
So the last time at the YMCA, we were actually upstairs on the first floor. The year before that, we were downstairs in the basement. See our paranormal, I did see a person plain and say, I believe you. I mean,
Yeah.
Derek's kind of a joker about this, so I believe that you saw somebody.
I believe
Well,
it.
he ended up
I
seeing
believe it. Yeah,
the same probably.
It was
person.
phenomenal because I'll let you finish, Rob, because you were starting to say something, but
No, I'm good.
it was funny because like the method when you knock and then you'll see if it finishes it.
Shaving a
And
haircut.
clear state, yeah, for the first time we got a response. I mean, it was freaking awesome because not only me and Alicia heard it, but Ryan heard it and one of the workers heard it as well. I mean, even just someone who wasn't into the paranormal and like doing all that,
He's talking about the undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location again. And it was really cool, man. I was like, wow, that was freaking awesome.
That was when the compressor thing kicked on.
You went, and then you hear a like in the distance. It was not like that, but
More like this.
Yep. But yeah.
So where was your guys' first location at together as a team for Dimensional Encounters?
Officially as a team, we went to the Klondike Hotel.
The
You been there?
Klondike Hotel. I've heard of that.
No.
It's in Manila. It's in Manila, Iowa.
I've heard of the
Manila,
Klondike.
Iowa.
Manila,
It's
Iowa.
nice.
I've heard of it.
I keep seeing a bunch of people like Sandy Harris and you guys and Kat and Will and everybody there too.
Yep. Klondike is it's got some spirits there. Some of them are not so happy. Some of them are peachy. But it's kind of almost like going to your grandma's house. When you were a kid, everything's cool, everything's blah blah. This has that same vibe. It's not an Edinburgh, but I will say that that's one of my favorite places to go to. Is the Klondike, and as I said, it's kind of low key. That's not. It's not Edinburgh. It doesn't have that spirit type there. And we had my wife, or we had Judy, Jesse, and then we had another couple, but they were completely brand new. And I think the only people that were seasoned at the time, I think I had 2 years with the other team, and then joined with them or with Bobby, Dimensional Encounters Paranormal. Just a place that I really liked. and I thought it'd be a good place to cut teeth in, so this is what to expect. And if, new people, even seasoned people, are going to make mistakes when you're out. I mean, stupid things like putting the IR camera on one end of the room, but you're blinding the other camera that's, somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just mistakes like that. And it's a
Or
location
forget to
that you
press
can make.
record.
Right. The last time we were there, though, Spirit kept turning the record function off on the cameras.
Oh.
So, I mean, I sat down in the basement and went up there, turned on the light, or turned on the record. Everything was going good. After about 10 minutes, it stopped recording. And I was like, I mean, it wasn't a dead battery, it wasn't a bad connection or anything like that. And I'm like, that's bogus. So I got up, turned it back on. About 10 minutes later, turned it off again.
Wow.
And then we, so I had gone upstairs, and then the rest of the team was investigating. They pressed the button, and then they decided to leave, and they went upstairs, and the thing ran for like 3 hours. We came back downstairs, started talking, cut off again. So it's like Spirit was like, okay, I know you're here, but I don't want anybody else to know that I'm here. And so when you go to review this stuff, it's not going to be there because I'm going to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Really cool place, though. Really, really super cool place.
Yeah, I've heard of it before.
Makes me want a Klondike bar.
Yeah.
Well, right? What would you do for a Klondike bar? Nothing, because I think they're gross. I don't want any.
I don't really like Klondike bars either, honestly.
Right.
But that's funny. I had an experience at the Cheney Mansion where it stopped my phone from recording. And I was up there by myself with the only light I had was the light off my camera, and the light went away. And I was like, okay, I had to just gather myself, and I went up and checked my phone, and I started recording again, and I had the spirit box going, and I said, a series of questions. And I said, was that you that cut off my camera? I said, that wasn't very, I think I said that wasn't very nice of you.
Well, it wasn't only cutting off your camera lights, it was cutting off my camera lights as well throughout the night. And then you're like, I don't think that was very funny.
That was very funny. I said, I don't think that was very funny. And clear as day, you hear it, F you, right through the freaking, and it scared the hell out of me. I went running down the stairs, and they're all laughing at me because they're watching me through the cameras.
Even better.
It was clear, though. It was like, oh, you. I'm like, what? No way.
You seem to get a lot of interactions.
Yeah.
Which is super cool, because I've been to locations and I'm sitting there with multiple digital recorders, and I set them up. I got one of the Zooms, the nice ones, and then I've got this $25 piece of junk, which that's what I caught my first EVP on. But it's very rare that I catch like an EVP interaction, stuff like that, other than getting called out to do stuff.
Yeah, when me and you when we were all at Edinburgh with you guys, it was cool because in the morning I went up there and did a thing in the men's room where I was asking a series of questions at the table where they had the puzzle that wasn't complete.
Yep.
And I had my little cheap recorder, and clear as day, you can hear, I said, does anybody want to finish the puzzle with me? And it says yes in a whisper.
Oh, I forgot about that.
As EVP ever. I was by myself. Nobody was in the building. It was awesome because Rob was out making delicious breakfast for everybody.
Yeah.
And his awesome cauldron.
Fucking amazing.
Burrito.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were so good. And your setup is badass. And you're a badass. And Judy's a badass.
Yeah, but it's funny when Judy scared the hell out of her.
Yeah.
She kind of scared me too.
That was fucked up. I was so excited about what just happened.
Yeah.
Right.
So, Rob, when you go into places, do you always kind of feel the energy before you start the investigation? You walk around, you kind of get a feel for it.
The way that I start an investigation, if that's the total question, how do I start an investigation?
Yeah, that's yeah.
I will go outside and I'll put my hand on the wall and I will generally do a prayer, basically saying, letting spirit know that we're not there to harm, that we're there to learn, we're there to understand. All I want to do is communicate. I don't want to harm you. I don't want to send you away. I don't, all these other things. But to be honest with you, once we get past that, I'm kind of in that mode of let's get the gear out. Let's get it together. Let's get everything set up. And then, so I kind of tune the energy and stuff out at first. And then, depending on who we're with, is going to kind of dictate how we go about doing things, if that makes sense. I'm by myself. Just so you know, you all disappeared.
Hi, we lost our feed.
That was weird.
Sorry.
I was gonna say y'all disappeared.
That was very strange, but we're back.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So a lot of it depends on who we're with. If we have people that are inexperienced, we'll go through and kind of give them the walk around, show them what we do. Like I said, like I talked with you the first night that we're there. This is how I do things because I want to show as much respect to the spirits that are there. I understand that is their home or their chosen home, if you want to call it that. That's where they reside. That's where they stay. However you want to say that. I'm the guest, and I want to make sure that respect is given for spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And our whole team does that. So it's not just a me thing.
Right. That's cool. Yeah.
I have a question. So
Purple.
what got you interested in the paranormal, or have you always been interested in paranormal, and have you always wanted to do go on investigations?
I've had experiences. I've had a lot of experiences before this, but I never really considered that the paranormal or something that I don't know how to explain. I've had experiences. I had the night that my grandmother died. I got up at it was 2:45, 3 o'clock, something like that. She had gone into the hospital while she was visiting us at Christmas time, and I went in. I woke up and I was crying for some reason. And I got up and knocked on my parents' door and I said, "Hey, I think Grandma just died." My dad lost it, told me to get my little self back into bed. I was like 8 years old, something like that. Get yourself back in bed. And I did. And so when I walked back into the room, the phone rang and my grandmother had just passed away. So, we had that. And then I had an experience where I had a dream that the same grandmother, this is 8 years later, she came up and said, "Robbie, help me, I'm drowning." And she used to wear this hand lotion, this rose milk. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but it smells like roses. She used to wear that. I got that smell, as I was sleeping, I kind of got the smell. And I felt like coldness around me, and I felt like a kiss on my cheek, and it said, "Help me, I'm drowning."
No.
And and then I got that smell again, and then the cold disappeared. So this guy thought he was going crazy. This is kind of a stupid dream. It's just a dream. Blah 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 blah. But it kept egging on me. It kept saying, "Look into this. Look into this. Look into this." So I called my other grandmother, who lived in the same town. And I asked her if she would go out to the cemetery and see if there's anything going on out there. And she called me about an hour or so later, and she said the only thing that's really going on out there is kind of like in the section where where grandma was buried. There was a broken water pipe out there, and her gravesite area. That section of the graveyard was about 6 inches underwater.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
When we lived in England, England's infamous for having ley lines and different things going on there. A lot of fighting, a lot of death, through time. We had two blessed angels that sat. One was hanging in the corner of a room, right? And there was enough room for this angel to just free spin, right? But it didn't do that. It would start here and it would rotate this way, and then it would stop. And then it would turn around and go back. And then stop. For 3 years and 9 months, that thing never stopped moving and was always looking down that wall, right? The second angel was on a flat wall. When I say that, it's on the long end of the house, and you could see all the way down. That angel also moved, but it did a 180. So it would look down this way, and then it's like it was scanning across the room, and it would look down the other wall, back and forth. 3 years, 9 months. Both of those angels never stopped moving. So a lot of people would say, well, because of air conditioning, which we didn't have in England, the house fan, which we didn't have in England. Well, your windows were open. It was wintertime, when we first realized what was going on. And I honestly can't tell you what actually drove those angels to move the way that they did. But 3 years and 9 months, they never stopped moving, and they were sitting in a spot where they could just continue to turn. And they didn't. Yeah.
So is it like a windmill kind of thing? If there's any wind or whatever, it moves, or is it like electronic or?
No, it was almost like a doll, right? A doll with wings on it. And it would sit here like this, and then all of a sudden it'd go.
What the hell?
Wow.
This is what it did.
That's weird.
That's
the other one,
creepy.
And the other one is straight across. I look blurry. And I just got goosebumps.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah, you do look blurry.
It wasn't blurry before.
Well, and
You're
then
blurring out.
Then we lost our feed earlier.
Yeah, wow. As soon as you started doing that.
So let me know if, let me get a pointer. If you see something moving from over here to over here and then back. So while we're talking, everything else, now it's clear.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
So oftentimes when we're talking to people, some people see things kind of move back and forth.
Do you have a spirit in your house?
I believe that there's a couple.
Okay.
I think there's one downstairs down here. I've had 5 or 6 mediums go, Rob, what's that behind you? And I'm like right here. I don't know what it is. I don't know who it is. I believe that my other grandmother is also here.
Okay.
So funny story. One of the mediums called up, and when I got up one Saturday morning, I picked up my phone. I'm starting to look at TikTok or whatever, Facebook, and all of a sudden my phone rings, and I'm kind of like, whoa, holy shit, what's going on here? And so, Rob, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, we need to talk, and I'm like, okay, I didn't do anything. There's no way that I could be in trouble right now. There's no way. She says, no, I had a dream about you last night. And I'm like, no. That's a no zone. That's it. That's a you thing. I don't need any of that. I don't need to know any of that. Right. And she was like, it's not like that. And I said, well, okay. So tell me about the dream. She said, well, I was standing in your bedroom looking at you. And I'm like, no, no, I don't want to know about that either. No, this is not a dream. This is not anything I want to know about. I think you need to go talk to your husband, you know?
Yeah.
And she goes, it's not like that. I'm like, well, the two things, you had a dream about me last night and you're standing in my bedroom. I mean, I'm just putting 1 and 1 and getting 5, you know?
Right.
Kind of laughed at me. And she says, no. So there was a woman standing there and long hair, chubby cheeks, blah, blah, blah. And so she said that I tried to communicate with said spirit, but spirit wouldn't say anything. And then she said that she got telepathically, I mean, you know, the mind thing.
Yeah.
Basically, she was standing over me and saying, he's protected. And then the medium went, okay, can you tell me who you are? Nope, not talking. So about 3 weeks later, we're talking again, and I have the phone on. I said, hold on, let me show you something. You know, and I turned the camera on, and as I walked by, she told me to stop, and she goes, who's that on your picture? What picture are you talking about? She said there was a picture of you and another with a lady there. It's not your wife. Go back to it. And I went, okay. So I went back to it and she put it up. I put it up there and she says, who's that lady? I said, that's my maternal grandmother. She goes, that's the one who is standing over you. That's the one. Yeah.
No.
I got goosebumps again.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't say that we have spirits here because I actually haven't had, you know, other than, you know, this thing walking back and forth. And our dog sitter got kind of scared when she came over to babysit. And she ended up calling us going, there's something in here. We're laughing. You know, normally right before we leave, we'll sit down and we'll say, okay, spirit, whoever's here, this person's coming over. They're considered family. They're loved. Leave them alone. Now, if they start doing something stupid that they're not supposed, because they're teens, right? So if they start doing shit that they're not supposed to be doing, get them. But don't get them. Don't get them. Right. You know, you have my permission to fuck them up if they are doing something that they're not supposed to do. But if they're not doing anything, just leave them alone. And you know, without us telling them about that, they have both come to us and said, it's kind of weird because I feel like I'm being watched a lot. And I went, that's good. Thank you, Grandma.
That's funny. That's awesome.
Yeah, good times.
That is hilarious.
I'm gonna have to do that with our spirits here.
Right?
Yeah, we've got a couple. They've been trying to get our attention lately, and you know, we haven't really done a full-blown investigation here, but you know, sometimes I'll test equipment in different, you know, ways of trying not to invite, you know what I mean?
Right.
But only try to communicate with what might be
They're
here.
already here.
But, you know, I try to be very careful with, you know, things like that. But yeah, there's different things that happen in our house, and it hasn't really ran me to where I'm like, okay, we got to sell this house. So, right. I mean, it's not nothing crazy. I think it just wants to be noticed, and, you know.
So, question for you. Are these spirits that were already there, or are those spirits that came home?
I think one of them might be one that might have came home. and then one that it was already here.
I feel like one of them is possibly a relative of mine. My daughter, my youngest, how you said, when you were little, then you knew that your grandma passed away. Well, Stella, my youngest, she knows things about spirits and stuff, and she keeps saying that it's a soldier ghost that's here. And I know that my great grandpa, he was a World War II veteran. Well, that's one of them, and then I forgot who else. My family passed. Was in military as well. My great uncle Jeff also.
Mm-hmm.
But also it could be anybody, that was also a military veteran.
Just
There's a lot of us out there.
Yeah, with what could be connected to the land,
Yeah.
I think one of them might be somebody who I kind of was on a personal level with when I was investigating by myself.
Yeah.
I definitely was on getting to a personal level with this spirit that I was communicating with. I mean, and I really didn't tell it that I didn't really tell him that he had to stay there. I didn't say, okay, this is last communications. I didn't really close out our session. I just kind of, went home.
And that's the first time that spirit had ever been communicated with.
Yeah.
Also,
because that same day we had stuff flying off the shelf in our house, and then yeah, it was weird. My daughter was kind of freaked out, but and then what else? Your phone kept dialing 911 on its own.
Yeah.
Some weird stuff like
so
that.
the snow globe that was in Lila's
The snow globe
closet tossed straight out of her closet.
It broke
I guess.
all over the floor. There was water, glass everywhere. It was crazy.
And then my phone kept fucking dialing 911 multiple times. It was messed up. So it happened at our house, and then it happened at work, and then it happened on the road coming back from where were we? Pine Lawn Manor.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
Yeah, and it was really crazy too, because not even a week ago, we were in bed watching a show. She has her perfume on the dresser. Granted, the cat's laying there, not wagging her tail, not even close to the perfume bottle. The perfume bottle flies off the dresser.
But before that, our pink Himalayan salt lamp, it started flickering like crazy. But then again, we just discovered the next day, I tried to turn it on.
The light bulb was burned out.
It burned out. So there, I can't say that that was paranormal.
Exactly.
But the perfume bottle right after that was strange. That was very strange.
Yeah, because she literally watched it fall right off the dresser. It was wild. And then I seen kind of the back end of it, I kind of
Manchester, England.
Hi, Bill.
Oh.
Love you. I am so upset I can't come see you the 28th. But I'll be there in July, of course.
It says greeting from Manchester, England. Yeah.
Manchester. Yeah. So we lived in Bury St. Edmunds when we were in.
Okay.
Or the Brits call it St. Edmundsbury, I guess it is. We lived there for 4 years. Absolutely loved the place. Lived on the economy down there. It was great.
Nice. Heck yeah.
So have you guys ever had anything follow you home?
Yeah, me. So it was from Malvern Manor.
Oh, and, Malvern, yeah.
Yeah, have you guys been to Malvern?
I haven't yet. That's on my bucket list.
I have.
Okay, so yeah, I had someone follow me home, and it was my fault. I didn't recognize the fact that something was trying to get my attention. In a place like Malvern, you get the goosebumps. Is it because of one specific thing, or is it the fact of the whole building? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. A long story short, I kept getting tugs on my shirt. I got pushed into a wall. I got pushed up the stairs, which I'm thankful that it wasn't pushed down the stairs because that would have sucked. Um, but long story short, the spirit there wanted me to find his wife.
Oh wow.
And I'm going, so when it followed me home, it started messing with me at home. At Malvern Manor, it pulled me nearly off my cot. It tried to throw me like a sack of potatoes inside of my sleeping bag. When I woke up, oh yeah, yeah, and apparently my wife said that my voice went up like an octave each time it pulled me. My head was hanging off the top of my cot, and then it did it twice at the house. And I went from the Lord's Prayer to swinging and cursing, within a matter of seconds of each. So we sat down and tried to figure out what was going on. I called a couple of times. They said, you've got somebody there that wants your attention. And I'm like, I feel things, right? You guys experienced that when we were there. I got the goosebumps and all that stuff. But I don't hear and I don't see, right? And so Spirit was trying to communicate with me, but if I can't hear and I can't see, it's kind of a communication problem, right? So basically, it came down and said, Rob, I want you to find my wife, and I only want you to do it because I trust you. And I'm like, why do you trust me? Polite, kind. And I said, is it because of the knocks on the door? And basically came back, yes. And I've been to Malvern probably 30 or 40 times, sometimes I go there just to go there. And then we kind of found out that, that's what it was. Figured out the name, figured out who the wife was, the whole 9 yards. Story is that he died in 63. She died in 1998. And he's sitting back going, where's my wife?
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So after about 2 weeks of digging into things, trying to find out who this dude was and everything else, found her, found the grave. And the coolest part of this story is, and there's a lot more details, and I'm just giving you the cliff notes for it.
Right.
So we went out to Malvern, and I found the grave of where the wife is. And so I said his name. I said, so look, if you can follow me home, if you can pull me out of my bed, if you can pull me off my cot, if you can mess with me the way that you've been messing with me, I said, I'm just going to assume that you're here. And then I just thought I saw something right there.
In my screen or yours?
In my screen.
Okay, because I thought I saw something too.
49. Okay. Let me mark that.
Yeah, because my eyes kind of like
twitch.
Like you see something and then it takes you off focus.
Yeah.
That's what I thought I did.
So long story short, I figured out everything, and I've only heard like 2 or 3 times. I got goosebumps again now. Thank you. One of the mediums that was with us, in fact, it was Jesse. Like I said, I'm on my knees and I have my hands on the stone, and I'm doing a prayer. And she said, "I just got a message for you." And I said, "Okay, what's that?" And she said, it's from Spirit. I said, okay. It said, stop crying, boy. We have work to do. And I'm like, is this from that person? She said, yeah. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever, And then I heard, look up. So I'm like this. And I look up and it says, look left. And I look left. 1 row forward, 2 spots down is where the husband was at. The first husband.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they reconnected?
I don't know. But
Wow.
but the lady, she stayed single for like 7 years, and she ended up marrying another man. She sold Malvern Manor to somebody else.
Yeah.
It's like fucking cold in here. Um, so she sold it, moved on, kept. Her thing was she wanted to take care of people. So was the spirit that wanted my attention. They took care of people, whether it was like halfway house, people who have to go to a halfway house, or indigent, or whatever. That's just the thing that they did. They took care of people.
Right.
And she sold the place. Um, she sold the place and then built a state of the art facility in 1970. And she worked that place until she was 95 or 96 years old, something
Holy
like that.
shit.
Damn. Yeah.
She loved taking care of people.
Mm.
She retired, and I think she passed away like 2 years later or something like that. So yeah. Have I had someone come home with me? Yes, I have.
Virgil has a question. We'll go ahead and let you answer this since you're our guest tonight.
So I'm new to this, so may sound naive, but my friend in Orlando, Florida, said he and his wife woke up covered in scratches. He is ex-military and smart. He said he believed it to be spirits, but why would they do that? Thank you. It could be attention.
Yeah.
Someone looking for attention. Someone looking for a way out. I've been told that my wife and I, and maybe you guys can verify it or not, but we've been told that we are kind of, as a team together, we are kind of like that candle in a dark room. Things are drawn to us.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that guy has that ability where he's positive, he's loving, he cares, he's an overall good guy, and maybe the fact that he is military, maybe that spirit may be prior military as well.
Right. And I would say not. Don't automatically think that it's negative, because just because you get scratched does not mean that it's evil or negative or
Right.
malevolent. It's not like that what you see on TV all the time. If you get scratched, it could just be because they are trying to get your attention, like Rob said. So I wouldn't automatically go to that extreme by thinking that. Just kind of, if there's any local, go or paranormal researchers down in your area, I'd say reach out to them and
Yeah,
There's-
absolutely.
seek out some help down there.
There's plenty all over the United States,
Oh, yeah.
the UK,
Yeah.
all over. So
Yeah.
if they want to, yeah, definitely have them see if they can find somebody or reach out to somebody in the paranormal field that might know somebody down there. And just like Rob was explaining his experience about being pulled off of his cot and shit, you would think, holy crap. So, and it turns out that they needed his help. So,
Right. And the scratching may be, kind of like that last resort, Hey, I'm yelling at you, I'm touching you, I'm pulling your clothes, I'm pushing you around and stuff like that. You're not reacting. How do I get your attention? Oh, I can scratch you. Right?
Yeah.
So do you guys have, what do you have coming up next, you guys? Like paranormal wise, investigations or events?
So this year's kind of a unique year. We really don't have a whole lot left for the rest of the year. Bobby and Jesse are taking care of some things, and so we're kind of doing things too. We do have potentially another investigation at the end of August at the Argo Hotel.
Nice. Yep.
Yeah. So.
Don't you guys host some events?
We do. We've hosted 2 events at the Argo Hotel. We have a third one scheduled. But the Argo Hotel is currently up for sale, so we're not exactly sure if that's going to happen or not. You know, the new owners may go, yeah, we don't want to do that, you know,
Right.
but we'll find out. I think it's
And where
August 29th.
August 29th.
I think it's the
How much
29th.
how much is it and where is the Argo Hotel?
The Argo Hotel is at Crofton, is in Crofton, Nebraska. It's right across the river from Yankton. Um, the Argo Hotel is just an amazing, amazing location. We were the first team to get into the Argo Hotel as an event holder.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
so cool.
yeah, it's a lot of fun there. And the current owner right now, she's a professional chef, a gourmet chef. So, and I'm just throwing this out, just throwing out the price. I don't know exactly what the price is, you know, as a team. So a lot of teams can make money by doing this, by selling tickets and everything else. We've kind of taken a different approach. We're there for the investigation. We're there to get our name and our word, you know, in the way that we investigate out. Because I think that we investigate a little bit differently than a lot of people do. So what we do is we give them the phone number, we give them the dates and the times, whatever the room costs or tickets or anything like that. That's all done through the hotel. We're not there to make money. We're not there to do, you know, for us, this is a hobby. This is something that we love to do. And, you know, I just don't think it's right to try to profit off of something like that.
And that's why I love you guys, because you guys have the similar thought processes. You guys are genuine people.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just like the way that you guys hold yourself together as a team, and you guys are just respectful and awesome and educational too. You know, I've learned some things from you on our last investigation, and you were showing me how, you know, all your camera systems work and different things, and your program on your computer and how you know, edit and do that, those things. And yeah, it was all freaking cool, dude.
Yeah, those
And I still
cameras.
got cameras made by Bobby.
Yeah. So Bobby does some custom work on the Zoom cameras. They're I think it's the 2QN or Q2N or something like that. They stopped making them, but they are professional grade cameras for a lot of musicians use them like up on stage so they can sit down and play their music and then actually review the show afterwards. Bobby takes and replaces the lens and puts an infrared lens on, I think it is, or maybe it's full spectrum. I'm not sure which one it is. He puts it in and then tunes everything up. And the recorder on there is a professional grade digital recorder. You can hear a mouse fart at like 300 yards with this thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And they're small. They're only like about like that, not that big.
They're awesome.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you say August 29th for the Argo?
I think so.
I'm off. I'm off.
It's at the end of the month. Is the 29th a Friday?
It is.
So I think we're there Friday, Saturday, leaving Sunday. And I think Sunday's the 1st, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Did you say all the bookings are through the website for the Argo Hotel?
Yes. I can give you a phone number for it.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm off, so definitely message me that. I might have to take a PTO day on Saturday.
Yeah.
And go without Derek because Derek like take off without me and go with Tom on investigations too.
So the phone number for the hotel is 402-388-2400. Let me back that up just to make sure. Yeah. 402-388-2400. And that's reservations for Dimensional Encounters Paranormal event. And I believe it's Saturday, Sunday, and leaving on Monday because Monday's a holiday.
Oh yeah, it's Labor Day. Yeah, I think it's Labor Day that week, isn't it?
I want to say that, and again, I don't know for 100%, but the rooms are about $130, $140, which is right on line with a normal hotel.
That's not bad.
You know,
That's
and
good.
it's double occupancy, so you know, you bring someone in there and you know you cut the room in half, or you cut the price in half.
Yep.
Or you cut the cheese.
Or the cheese.
And then the other person leaves, and then you just get a whole room by yourself.
Right, right. So the thing is with the Argo, though, I think there's only 9 rooms available. So if you want to go, you have to make those reservations, and you have to do your business. It's not one of those places where you can go, I'm just gonna roll down there and see if I can get in, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I know the first time that we did not investigation, but did a event there, it closed out in like 7 hours. I mean, I put the video out. Hey, look, this is where we're going. You know, if you want to come join us, investigate, blah blah blah. 7 hours, sold out, done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Shit, I gotta get my ticket soon.
So then there's the other time where we had an event there, and only 2 people showed up, but that's when we had the big blizzard that came through.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of shut us down. So
Yeah.
but you know, as a team, we stayed there and investigated for 2 nights, and it was amazing.
I bet because of the blizzard and all the energy and the
it was sweet.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for coming on, Rob. And
Anytime.
sorry.
I'm so sorry. Like I said, when you texted me, I'm like, oh shit, I thought that was tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. It's tonight. I feel like a jerk.
No,
you're
good. I honestly should have probably texted you like a few days ago or something.
I thought that my phone would have set an alarm or something. You know what I mean? Hey, Rob Dumas, you have a thing. I've been like, oh yeah, I remember that. Said nobody ever, you know. So I really appreciate you guys inviting us to come out. I apologize for the rest of my team not showing up. I guess they had things to do, but you know what? I'm here.
That's
yeah,
okay.
that's all. Hey, that's fine.
We love Rob, and the spirits love Rob.
Yes.
All right.
Tell Judy hi.
Yes, tell Judy
I will.
hi for me too.
Absolutely. She's been running up and down ladders all day today.
Because she's a badass.
She's probably in bed now.
She probably is. She's probably all passed out and everything. So
right. Well, just for real quick, if you want, you can let people know that are viewers where they can find you, your socials.
Yeah, so it's Dimensional Encounters Paranormal, and that's on Facebook and YouTube.
All right. Well,
And
we'll talk to you later, Rob.
absolutely. You guys have a blessed week. Be safe. Take care.
Bye.
Love light and keep investigating.
Oh, yes. Definitely.